Welcome to the Cosmic Realm, guys. Man, are you guys as excited as I am for my non-record store day vinyl finds? Yes. First of all, let me kind of explain my relationship with record store day, right? So, I didn't even really know about record store day up until like kind of joining or, watching vinyl community videos. Watched for 2 years. I've kind of been in it for about 3 years. So, but I had never attended a record store day until last year. I went to Planet Score. Only I stood in line for like 45 minutes to an hour to not get anything that had anything to do with record store day. Picked up a couple non-record store day albums. And so back in Fort Dodge, before I moved down to St. Louis, I also did a non-record store day video during the big weekend of record store day where I showed my record store day stuff that I didn't get on record store day. So it's been a kind of a weird thing for me. I don't have anything against record store day. I think it's a great thing for vinyl collectors, and I have really no negative things to say about it, for real. So I love the camaraderie. I remember standing in line. I just enjoyed just visiting with people. So this is going to be my record store day, non-record store day finds, if that makes sense. It makes sense in the cosmic mind. So, all right, I've talked enough. Let's get to drinking and then get to looking at some vinyl, all right? Slammer! And I'll explain what we're listening to. That's part... Whoa! Jeez. All right, I'll explain what we're listening to here when it comes. But here, let's take this big chug. Oh. How was that one? Are you kidding? That was a sip.
Oh, yes, my good friend, of course.
Brought back the old Jaws koozie. I have a whole shitload of really cool koozies. I just cannot find them. All right, so let me start off with some garage rock finds, man. What a way to start a good video, right? This is the Dwarves, Lick It, 1983 to 1986, the psychedelic years. Now, this particular reissue was released in 1999 on Greedy Media and produced by Brad Dahlia and also Recess Records. There's no song list on this, so I have no idea unless I look at the actual record labels. So, and no inner sleeve or insert to tell you about what's going on here with the history, so I had to kind of dig it up. But this is a double album that includes the Dwarves' early Paisley garage era. It includes their first LP, Horror Stories. It's right there alongside a bunch of unreleased singles and early singles. So, but this predates the rebirth of the Dwarves as as punk icons, I guess. But yeah, you know how the Dwarves are noted for their really raunchy and non-politically correct lyrics and songs, right? Well, that's on here. That behavior is in this record, but it has a garage rock musical backdrop. So I just love the cover, though. Check out their outfits there, and you've got one of the guys holding up the Life magazine with Charles Manson there. I think they look cool. But this is definitely primitive, aggressive, snotty, fuzzed out, screaming, dirty garage punk. God, that was a mouthful. I mean, you get the thrill of hearing tambourines and some great farfisa organ, screaming vocals, all delivered with reckless abandon, mind you, and zero fucks given. Let me put it that way. So it's time to see the inside here. Check out some of the inner sleeve. Got some like flyers here and some like newspaper magazine clips and stuff. In fact, if I can, I'm probably not going to be able to find it, but yeah, you know that that Knights of Fuzz book that I got that about the 80s garage rock revival? Well, Timothy Gasson, the author of that book, actually despises the Dwarves. In fact, if he didn't have to write anything in there, he probably wouldn't have. I think it's their politically incorrectness and the first impression that they made on him that kind of soured his outlook on the old Dwarves. So I think it's right down to their name he has an issue with. So anyway, let's move on. I get kind of like a Mummies or the Seeds kind of mixture there, but it's pretty cool. I got a lot of records, so I'm gonna have to speed this up. Okay, this one, you know what? Let's just get rid of the shrink. Although I don't think that's going to eliminate the glare because it does have a glossy cover. But this is the Sorrows, and it's called Take a Heart. You guys get a good look at that cover. Look at those monsters there. This is released originally in '65 on the Pie subsidiary Piccadilly Records. Now this is a British beat band with some garage sensibilities. They definitely look kind of mod there, but yeah, they're from the English mod scene, freak beat, hard aggressive versions of contemporary R&B, freak beat, some really cool English versions of raucous R&B songs, and some great guitar solos, kind of a jangly guitar sound to it. Brings to mind Chuck Berry, so yeah. But this is a mix of danceable modness of like the Kinks, and then an R&B of say like the Pretty Things and the Who. So yeah, this is fantastic, man. I love this record. If you find this reissue, I definitely recommend picking it up. If you like mod, if you like garage or just 60s freak beat, this is fantastic album, man. Highly recommend it. Alright, next is another great garage rock album. Now this one comes on in 2005. It's SLA, The Sonic Love Affair. Check out those guys. They're all standing on top of like a big Fender amp. But, I mean, any album that has a big Fender amp on the cover is definitely for me. And I love the cover art around it as well. But this is released on Dollar Records. This is just dirty rock and roll, unapologetic from the very first notes of the opening track, Street Preacher. Manic drums, raunchy screaming guitars, crunchy guitars, thunderous bass lines, just a really killer garage rock delivery. And the production on this is really good too. I mean, you can tell it's got that 2000 polish on it. But yeah, I love their logo too, the kind of the font there. One guy's friggin' going for broke. He's jumping off, man. He's jumping off! All original compositions here, with the exception of a cover of Dylan's Baby Blue, which is really, really cool. All the band, and another thing I noticed is that all the band members in this seem to get songwriting credits, which I love that, man. I feel like as a band, unless you know, you've got a couple of guys like a guitar player and the vocalist who are, you know, taking on the brunt of the songwriting duties. I think to stay together and stay happy as a band, and if you're all in part of the creative process, I think that's the way it should be. All the band members should get a nice credit, so that if the money does roll in, you know, everybody gets a share. So otherwise it causes all kinds of shit, and that's how bands end up breaking up. So, but this shit is so crazy. This is like it spits and hisses and arches its back like a freaking feral cat, man. I tell you, this is awesome raunchy garage rock right there. Now this one, I can't remember if I showed this or not, so I'm just gonna show it, but another great Australian rock band that I've seen getting a lot of love lately in the vinyl community, with channels like Ben Rankins and of course Garner from Born Out of Time. But this is the Lime Spiders out of Australia with their EP Weirdo Libido. Now, side A on this has the title track, Weirdo Libido, which is actually from this really cool movie, I think it's from the 80s, called Young Einstein, which featured, I think he's an Aussie actor. His name is Yahoo Serious, and he had this crazy ass hair and stuff, but the song Weirdo Libido is just a Weirdo Libido. God, what the? Weirdo Libido. I'd like to hear you say it like over and over again. Weirdo Libido is just a banging track too, man. It's so killer. And then you've got another song on that side, but then the side B is all this like live tracks, and they were recorded from Carmen's Miranda in Sydney, Australia. Look at that on the back there. You see that guy on the top there? Looks like he may be partaking in a little bit of Australia's finest dubage potentially there, which, hey, I'm okay with that, man. It's medicinal. It's medicinal, I bet. But yeah, I love Mick Blood, the vocalist. I love his vocals, man. It reminds me of like a young, aggressive Alice Cooper, but with an Australian garage rock band, right? Love it, love it. Fast and Furious garage punk, acid punk. Love this. Nice little EP. Now, since we showed an Australian band, how about a couple of fake Australian bands? Yeah, I said that right. You understood it. Picked up this original copy of The Strangeloves, I Want Candy. Yeah, check that out. Now, this was released in '65 on the Bang Records label there. Two hit-making songwriters put together this band, right? And these two guys, I think their real names were the Giles Brothers, but they renamed them the Strange Brothers. And it was a trio, right? I mean, you can see that. 1, 2, 3. Come on, you're not that dumb, Brian. But the backstory is them being sheep breeders or some shit from the uncivilized backlands of Australia, right? And then they went to Africa to learn how to play the Maasai drums from these tribesmen. And then, of course, they went back to America to introduce their music and to the bopping youth of the world with the tracks like I Want Candy, Carolyn, The Nighttime. But yeah, what a crazy concept. And, you know, it probably worked for a little while, but I think people kind of tired of the whole charade. And nobody that put this together here knew what Australians looked like at the time, so they just assumed that this would be the garb of an everyday Australian. I just think that's freaking hilarious. But this is a fun record. good beat rock, danceable, bop your head, good type stuff like that. I love it, man. That album cover is just hilarious, man. I'd wear that vest, though. You don't believe me, vinyl community? Yeah, I think you probably do. I don't have to tell you that I have some weird shit in my wardrobe. And how about a second fake Australian band? Now this is called the Koala, self-titled album here. Released in 1969 on Capitol Records, right? Now this is 5 teenage kids from Brooklyn, New York. They were formerly known as the United Popcorn Federation. A band name that I think is killer, man, and it's a great name for like a bubblegum rock. If they could have just, maybe took their snotty garage psych bubblegum selves down that road with the United Popcorn Federation moniker, I feel like they could have made it work. But they signed a major record label contract with Capitol. They were forced to change their name to the Koala, and then they were forced to feign that they were from Australia, right? And then the record company released this with the cover art, no input from the band, which I don't really mind it, but they had no input. They released what songs they wanted to release. They had absolutely no control over their artistic destiny. I do like that psychedelic pick on the back there, but this is a bit of a lost garage psych gem. Reissued in 2010, which I believe that's what this is that I'm holding here on my hand. I'll show you the gatefold there with the band. Looking mighty cool there. Got your, fuck if I know what that is. But kind of a Stones Who hybrid with a garage psych treatment to it. Now this reissue, if I had some complaints about it, is that the sound is thin, man. That too much high, not enough bass to fill in. Just really kind of annoying to my ears. I have to adjust the bass all the way up and the treble almost all the way down to get it so it's actually listenable. So keep that in mind if you see this. But I think it's a great album. I mean, the songs are great. I mean, snotty vocals with New York attitude, killer guitar and rhythm section. This is, like I said, a lost gem. Guitarist for that band went on to form Sir Lord Baltimore, which I thought was cool. And then the singer, he went on to be in a glam rock band. I think it was called Magic Tramps or something like that. And then he was briefly the singer for the Joe Perry Project as well. So, kind of cool. All right, I've really got to move now. Okay, so this is what we're listening to. This is a kind of a new wave band called Lady. It says Lady. It looked like it would say Lady Pank. It's pronounced Lady Pank. And this is called Drop Everything. It was released in '85. It's a Polish rock band. They were super popular there. In fact, this album is probably one of the most important Polish rock and roll albums in the history of Polish music. Now, this is all in English. But yeah, it's kind of new wave, 80s alt rock, some synth, jangly guitars, sometimes kind of reggae-ish, like the Police. Kind of a cool look and sound. I don't know why they did this like cut and slide over on the bottom. I think that was dumb. But a very 80s sound here. I found a clip of them playing on American Bandstand that I'm going to include in the description. It's kind of, they do a funny Q&A with Dick Clark, and he pulls like 5 members of the audience, and they just ask these ridiculous questions, and there's an interpreter, and you can tell the band are just like, what the fuck? Americans. But anyway, yeah, I'll include that clip. I like this, man. I really do. It's, you know, it's definitely 80s, but I dig it. Now this is one I found the next two albums in the bargain bins at Planet Score. This is one that I've been looking for. This is Slick. If you look at it, they look like a boy band, right? I mean, but this is actually kind of cool. It's a Scottish pop rock group from the mid-70s, initially glam rock in the vein of like a Bay City Rollers or Rosetta Stone. Then they kind of went down this avenue of like bubblegum rock, kind of pop, soft pop rock. But this is the first band to feature Midge Ure in a band, singer-guitar player who also went on to be in Ultravox. And he was also in the Rich Kids with Glenn Matlock of the Sex Pistols. So, kind of wild. They all wear like these baseball jersey kind of shirts there. Look at this guy. He looks like he's about 30, where the rest of them are in their 20s. That guy looks like Scott Baio, I think. I love it. And he's toughening up with the old fist in the hand there. But they had a hit off of this called Forever and Ever. But my favorite song off this is called He's a Punk. And it's not a punk rock song. It's just about this guy that they think is a punk. But some members of this band went on to join the Skids and also Simple Minds. Great find for like, I think I paid $4. Now this one I was so glad to find in the bargain bin. This is Paris with their self-titled album. This was released in '76 on the Capitol label. This is a power trio, including the one and only Bob Welch. It's kind of a super group of sorts, actually. It's Bob Welch, formerly of Fleetwood Mac. It's the bassist Glenn Cornick from Jethro Tull. And it's Tom Mooney from the Nazz. You know, the Nazz with Todd Rundgren, right? This is very Zeppelin-esque. It's hard rock. It's Cheap Heat. And the reason it kind of sounds Zeppelin-esque, I think, is it's produced by a guy named Jimmy Robinson. You're probably like, who the fuck's Jimmy Robinson? Well, Jimmy Robinson is AKA Jimmy Page. So that probably explains that. This is probably the heaviest material that Bob Welch has in his catalog. He does a killer Robert Plant influenced vocal. The guitar riffs are so heavy, it's like a swift kick right in the sack. But yeah, $2 bargain bin. Sure, it's got some ring wear, but the vinyl is just minty, man. I was happy to grab it. So anyway, those are my non-record store day finds. I'm going to see you guys out there. I got a couple more videos floating around that I'll throw out there. Hey, if you like what you see, subscribe, hit the bell, hit the thumbs up, man, because Cosmic Vinyl wants you to join the Cosmic Quest. I love you guys, man. Peace out.